Pierce & Pierce, attorneys at law. 256-455-0984. Let attorneys Kyle and Beth Pierce take the worry away. They specialize in criminal defense, appeals, probate, family, divorce, wills and trust, real estate, and property. They are only one call away. 256-455-0984. Attorneys Kyle and Beth Pierce. We are in this together. Twin City Used Cars. 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. 256-844-2210. Open Monday through Saturday from 8 to 6. Owner Bobby Ledbetter encourages you to come take advantage of his over 30 years of experience in buying and selling amazing vehicles. Incredible inventory, honesty, fairness, reliability. Hey, that's just what you get at Twin City Used Cars. Integrity is a way of life for Bobby Ledbetter in Twin City Used Cars. Check them out on Facebook at Twin City Used Car Sales, the exclusive used car dealership of Kapow Media, Twin City Used Cars.
Trent Thrasher Construction. From idea to completion, we manage it all. At Trent Thrasher Construction, we create spaces big enough to hold your dreams. We believe in the nobility of hard work. That's what sets us apart. We take pride in everything that we do. There are lots of companies out there that can build your project, but at Trent Thrasher Construction, we don't just build, we create, innovate, collaborate, and take absolute pride in every single project we do. Trent Thrasher Construction. We're here for you.
Hey folks, welcome to the Kapow Show. Jeff Underwood, J.W. White. What's up, man?
You know, when you're in the presence of the head football coach of the Etowah Blue Devils, you sit up straight and tall. Welcome, Coach Scott Peavey.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Oh, my God. It's been a long overdue here. But kind of introduce yourself to the people who live under a rock here, who you are, and kind of what's going on with the Etowah Blue Devils right now.
I'm Scott Peavey. I'm the head football coach at Etowah. This is my first season at Etowah, and this is my 29th year of coaching. And so fortunate enough to get the job there, and we're just trying to put some things together. You know, we've had some struggles, but you know, our kids have done a really good job of competing to put us in a situation where you know, we win, we get in. So you know, that's what we're looking for tonight.
Yeah. What has impressed you? One thing that we know, we've been around Etowah football for a long time, long time. Been removed for a couple years. One thing that impressed us, Jerry played there for Coach Glover and Coach Townsend, is the grit of Etowah or talent kids, right? I mean, has that been something that you've noticed?
You know, I've coached against Etowah a long time, and it's always been that way, and that's what drew me to the position when it became open. You know, just because the talent kids have always been tough, they've always been physical. I was in the region with them when I was in Huntsville. I actually hired Raymond Farmer in Georgia. He was one of my assistant coaches years ago, and you know, and how he talked about Etowah and how much he loves it, still loves Etowah. He's there every day, and you know, it's just a special place, and so you know, I knew about some things before the job came open, and then I was fortunate enough to get the job. So yeah, they really like football, and you know, I've coached a lot of places where it wasn't as important as at Etowah. So that's fantastic. If you're the head football coach, you got to love that. They love all athletics, you know, the kids that are doing well. So it's a big deal.
Yeah.
How do you? There's some kids that should be playing ball that's not playing ball.
Yes,
honestly,
sir.
How do we get those kids back out?
Well, hopefully, you know, they see that, you know, we're working the kids hard. We're for all sports. We're trying to, you know, we're trying to make them better at everything they're doing. And you know, we're starting a wrestling program. Maybe that'll get some things, and, you know, some things like that. But just hopefully the kids see that, you know, we're holding kids accountable. We're trying to be great at things. We're trying to make it fun. We're trying to work them hard, and hopefully, you know, when our football players go to basketball and go to baseball, that they see that some of the things they've done have made them better and all those things too, and they want to be a part of that as well. So hopefully that those things will transition. But winning cures a lot of things, and so that's our job, is that we've got to figure out how to win some more games, and kids want to be a part of a winning program.
You know what's going to help too? That new weight room.
Absolutely.
Long overdue. Long overdue.
Absolutely, it is, and our kids got to walk through it yesterday, and they were just super excited. And our superintendent has really spared no expense to try to make it a really, really nice facility for our kids, and he's excited for them to have the opportunity to train in a facility like that for sure.
And you're doing the weight training for everyone in the school? You're kind of a school-wide strength coach?
I am. Basketball and baseball do it as well with me, but I do it, and then me and my son do it for the middle school.
Huh.
So we do it from 6th grade up.
Heck yeah.
So, we're involved in all that, and it's good. It's good. The school system has really allowed us to do a lot of things to train the kids. So hopefully those will start paying dividends as well.
Let's, as I'm trying to remember, let's go back. Your 2014 team. Mad Cow.
Yes.
You beat us Etowah that year. Close game, very good game.
Always
what
tough.
a physical, tough game. That's what I remember about that game so much. Physical, tough, hard nosed. You guys made a run to the semis, right?
We did. Yes, sir, we did. Yeah, my son was on that team, and that's kind of when this job came open. I told my son, I said, hey, that job's open. He goes, Dad, they can win it there. He said, you need to get that job. They can win it. So so that right then we tried, and so thankfully I got it, and I was able to hire my son. And I actually, 2 years before that, we were also in the semis in 2012.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that team was really good too. And the running back on that team was Jordan Chun, and I've hired him as my offensive coordinator.
Did you really?
I did.
Okay.
So he's our offensive coordinator here, and my son's
I
defensive
don't
coordinator.
remember calling the game. I don't think we played in 2012.
We did. We played here.
We played here in 2012?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that game.
Yeah, we did, and it was a good game. We had to have a drive late to take all the time off the clock to win it. So, but it was a good game, and that guy Jordan Chun,
That guy.
was
That
a 4.
guy.
Yeah, he was a 4A back of the year. He went to Troy, broke all the rushing records for Troy, played for the Dallas Cowboys. He's my guy. So, I felt like I hit a home run getting to hire him. And so I'm very fortunate. I got 3 guys on my staff that I've coached. I coached Anton Bowen at Welborn, my first head coaching job, and he's on our staff, and my son. So, kind of a cool thing to do late in your career, and super excited about that too.
Building something special. I'll tell you a story. My wife is an administrator at the elementary school, and she was showing Coach Chun and his wife and kids around when they were looking at the school.
That's right.
And so they're just talking, and he said, I'm a new football coach over blah, blah, all that kind of deal. And he said, do you have a favorite football team? She don't know. She don't know anything about him.
She had no idea.
And she goes, yeah. She's from Richmond, Virginia. And she said,
Redskins.
I'm a Redskins fan all the way. And of course, and she said, and I said, no, you didn't. She said, yes, I did. And she said, I didn't know. She said, all I noticed is they started smiling real big. Right? And his wife said, she goes, well, who's y'all's favorite? She goes, well, we kind of like Dallas.
Yeah, kind of like that.
And then she said, I said, well, he would. The guy played there. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. It's awesome that you're building a staff. That's one thing. Jerry and I, we're very candid, too. We love Etowah. We love it. He bleeds Etowah blue. The one thing that we're excited about is the possibility of you guys coming in, building the staff that you want, longevity. These kids deserve it, and that community deserves it. And
I agree.
Awesome.
And thankfully, our superintendent, our principal, all our principals, middle school, elementary school, all of them have been willing to hire people, and we're very, very lucky to have that opportunity. And hopefully, we do a really good job of hiring really, really quality people. And I've got a really good staff of really good guys, and I've been super thankful for them. It took a long time to hire them all, so we didn't get them in until late. So this summer was difficult. The off season was difficult, but everything it's gotten better and better and better, and hopefully every week our community can see that we're putting a good product on the field and that our kids are playing their guts out.
Well, I'll tell you, when Jerry said, man, he kept texting me on Friday, and he's saying they're pushing this game to overtime, Southside game, right? And heartbreaker in 2 overtimes.
Yeah.
But you dubbed it years ago,
Battle of Highway 77.
Yeah.
It kind of turned into that.
And that became
we need to make a trophy for that, like something to
Yeah.
fight for. That'd be something cool. But Yeah,
Well, that's when I saw. I mean, because you obviously Asheville. I don't know if Asheville scored 10 points on Etowah in the last 7 years or whatever it is that they played. So we knew that game coming in, but we were like, God, I hope they have confidence going in the Southside game. And they not just confidence, they had grit. They worked their tails off. They fought hard. Obviously, mistakes were made on both sides of the ball.
Sure.
But that's when Jerry said, I think they're going to be okay.
If we, and I'm not taking anything away from Southside. They beat us. They did. I'm not taking anything away from them. If it doesn't rain, I mean, we were up 21-0, started pouring, like just fell pieces. And they pound on you, and they wear on you, and they're big, and they're physical.
Sure.
So I'm not taking anything away from them. They got a great team. So I think I was obviously last week they had a huge win too. So,
They did.
It was, our kids get up for that game. They get up for us. And then I'll tell you, it's crazy about that. So we played them the next Monday in middle school football, and it ended 0-0 in a middle school football game. And they don't play overtime, which I wish we'd changed that. But anyway, we didn't. And then we played them in JV immediately afterwards, and we beat them 12-0. So I would say our programs are very, very comparable, as far as, you play double overtime, you play 0-0 and 12-0. It's pretty close. And they were all three really physical games. And, and that funny thing you say is about that game is because I told our kids, if we'll play as hard as we did against Southside, then we can play with anybody, but we just got to play that hard every week, not just against Southside. So, we've got to do a better job of that too.
Yeah, what I look at your team, and I'm not inside that program anymore whatsoever, but I'm surprised the lack of size.
Yeah,
we've always had big kids, and that's the first thing I noticed is, hey, where are the big kids? They're not out here yet.
Yeah, we're not very big. We have a lot of skilled kids, and we have a lot of kids that can run, but we're not. Now we've got some young kids that we started a freshman at tackle, and we started a freshman at guard, and when those guys.
That's tough to do.
Yeah, that's tough to do. We actually, we played another kid, another guard as well. So J.C. Garmley started at tackle all year. He got hurt. He's back. And then we got Ethan Honeycutt, who starts at guard. And then we have a Dixon kid that plays one of the guards. We got two brothers, and one of them is a freshman. So those three guys play a lot for us. And one day those guys are going to be big physical kids. But Jalen Greer's our biggest kid, and he's probably 250 pounds.
Yeah.
So, and then after him, might not even be 200, so the guys that play for us are just not very big. And,
Well, that weight room's going to help.
It's going to be
the kids are there. Let's just get them back out there. If you only had a quarterback, Coach.
I mean,
If you just recruit a quarterback. And,
he just got a big offer the other day. I was excited for him. He just got offered by Jacksonville State.
Heck yeah, that's a huge offer.
That's a huge offer.
Yeah.
They're good.
You know how happy his mama be if he stays close.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was excited for
such
him.
a mama's boy. You got to let him go.
He is a mama's boy.
Let him go, Jessica.
Just that weighs on kids. He's a Mississippi State commit, and then things change.
Correct.
And it weighs on him during the year. He's like, man, I can't get an offer. And he got one from UT Martin a couple weeks ago, but then he got a Jacksonville State. And there's been a lot of people call, and but getting the offer is the hard deal. So Wednesday night he got an offer from Jacksonville State. So I was excited for him.
Heck yeah, man.
He's a competitor for sure.
How is he health wise?
Good. He he got hurt a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
but he's good. He's good. He's we limited. He was limited last week, but he came out in the second half when we needed him and played really, really well. So
That's who he is.
He's a freak.
The kid. I want you to talk about a lot of your kids, Coach, and Day Porter. I'm hearing nothing but special things about this.
Yeah,
kid.
he got hurt, and that's hurt us because.
Can we blame Pastor Mark Martin for that in any way?
Yes, absolutely.
I'd like to.
I believe you can.
Okay. But yeah, he. Of course, he's a freshman, and he played some as an 8th grader last year, and he's a freshman, and he's our running back and our free safety going into the season. And game one against Jacksonville, he has 24 tackles. He's played really, really well for us. And then in a freak Monday warm up, half speed tackling drill to start practice, he hurts his opposite shoulder, and it comes out. And when it comes out, he has to have labrum surgery. So that was a big loss for our program. He's a really good football player, and. But
before that, I heard about how good a kid he was.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And our kids are. I think sometimes we get a bad rap. Our kids are feisty and they're competitive and they're going to stand up for themselves. But when every time I ask them to do something, they do it.
Well, let's put this on a T-shirt. It's play through the echo of the whistle.
There you go.
It's an Itowah way, right?
There you go. And we, and early on, I don't think we were doing that. I think we were pushing it too far, and we were doing some things that were hurting ourselves. A lot of penalties, a lot of dumb mistakes, and we've eliminated those. Knock on wood. But hopefully, we continue to do that, and that's been. Early in the year, that was our Achilles heel, and that thing's gotten better.
Well, if we're talking honest, Etowah's needed discipline for quite some time.
Sure.
Jeff Colgrove would say that. Anybody in the program would say that. It's easy to say, hey, we need discipline, and it's much harder to coach it up and make them understand.
It's hard, and we all need discipline. It's not our kids are not,
You're speaking truth.
We all need it. I need it, and the kids need it.
My cardiologist said it.
So, and that's, we're not the only team in the world that does, but I think sometimes we probably get a bad rap on that. But we need it, and and our kids have done it. And like you said, it's hard. It's hard to hold their feet to the fire and every time, because sometimes you just want to move on and do something else, but you got to stop and make sure the kids understand that how important it is. And I think early on they saw it that it was hurting us, and so we've gotten better at that. The problem is it's so much easier to pull them back than to speed them up. So you don't want to ruin their fire, and then they don't play as hard. So there's a fine line in there somewhere of you want them to keep playing through the echo of the whistle, and every once in a while you may play a little too long, and that's I get it.
I like it.
Yeah, I do too. I get it. You just got to be in the right time. It can't be, on your own. They're driving on your 30. You do it on their 15.
You're all right.
You're okay. So it's got to be smart sometimes.
I got 2 videos sent to me during the season from you, and I just cracked me up. One, you are coaching a kid very hard, for the side, very hard. The next video, again, you're celebrating with them. That's your style. That's who you are.
That is. And I tell the kids I'm going to coach them hard and I'm going to love them hard, and so if I'm going to be hard on them, and that was hard on them to take at first, because they thought I was, demoralizing their character, and that's not what it was. I'm just trying to get them to play harder, and then once they realize that, because when you do that, you got to be the first one to celebrate them when they do it right, and so hopefully I do that, and hopefully I continue to do it, because that's, that otherwise it's just beating them up, and I don't ever want to beat them up. I just want a different result, and then when they do it right, you just want to celebrate as hard as you can with him.
That's the saying, though, right? Once a kid knows how much you love him, then you can coach him hard.
That's right. That's right. And that took a while, because it's our kids were guarded when I first got there.
Sure.
They were, and understandably so. Understandably so. I get it. 100%. And there's probably still guarded. They're probably still not exactly how they're going to be, just because they put a wall up. They've been through a lot, and they've been through 4 coaches in 4 years, and that's a lot. And so to get the stuff that we've got out of them is I'm really thankful, because it could be harder, and some days I will leave and I go, oof, it's hard, but it could be harder, so, because like I said, I love our kids. I do. I love them, and they're fighting their guts out for us. So, but we've had to weed out a lot of kids too, and that's not us doing it. It's just, it takes what it takes, and when it takes what it takes, some kids aren't willing to do that.
You've got a great youth program, incredible youth program. I'm glad to see that you're working with them. I love that when high school coaches do that. But you've got some sophomores and some freshmen that are some studs, that are some ball players. You got some young guys that making some good tackles for you. I was talking to Jerry about the Henry kid that's out there.
Yeah, he's a great kid.
A little gritty, isn't he?
He's tough, and he's. He learned it the hard way, so when I got there, he's a defensive lineman, so against Jacksonville he played nose guard, and he's not a very big kid, and he got pushed around pretty good, so we moved him to defensive end the next week and got pushed around pretty good, and then we put him at linebacker, and he makes all the plays. He's done a really, really good job. So he's averaged, I think he's played 5 games, I think, there now, 5 or 6 games, and he averages over 15 tackles a game for us. So we found a home for him, and he's real physical. Yeah. He likes it. So, if that kid can get to 190 pounds, there's no telling how good he can be. Yeah. So,
well, that weight room again.
That's right.
And we saw that April Davis. We already talked about it. Sorry about you. You were late to the game.
Oh, April loves you.
She overslept.
April loves you.
She does a lot for our program, and
she doesn't get the credit she deserves for high school football in general across the state.
She does a lot for everybody.
She's incredible.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, their family was completely sold out to Etowah. Her husband coaching all the youth, and their boys have gone through the program. They got another one coming up, so thankful for them for sure.
Does he play football?
He's not any good.
Does he?
Yeah.
Is he?
It's funny. It's funny you say that because, I told you my son was like, Dad, you got to get that job. You can win it there. And then probably 2 hours later, he goes, yeah, they got like a Instagram famous player. Like he's like a 6th grader. He's like unbelievable. I was 5th grader. I'm like, what? I've never really heard of it.
Yeah.
Famous. And then and before we even talked about a high school player, we were talking about him.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, he's made a name for himself for sure.
He's a good kid too.
He
He's
is.
super
Tyson's
funny.
just-
So he's smart as crud
Dude,
too.
he is.
Not just a good athlete. That
Good
kid's
looking
brilliant,
kid.
yeah.
Pisses me off.
He takes after his mom. He sure don't take after you.
Yeah, Tommy ain't got no Tommy Davis. So let's talk a little football, Coach. I know that's what you do, right?
Yep. Yes,
sir.
May not be who you are, but that's what you do. You're much more than a football coach from everybody I'm talking to, including Steve Smith, who
Coach Smith,
that dude loves you, man.
He's a good guy. Smitty and I played in college together.
Yeah.
Good guy. Good guy. We went through some good times at Jacksonville State for sure.
He can spin the magic bean a little bit.
He can't throw that ball anymore.
Yeah.
He can throw that visor though, can he?
We didn't
That's it.
throw
Throw
it
the
down.
ball.
We were straight down and
Held it
run.
off.
Yeah, he was
What
not.
was his thing? He said, "I'm a game manager."
Game manager, exactly right. But he's the first to talk about his offensive lineman. He's the very first one to do that. But he thinks really highly of you. Big game, as all games are, and we say it on the Coach Smith Show every week, especially the region that they're in. It's tough to win high school football games.
I say that every week to our kids. It's so many things have to happen to win a high school game. I don't care who you play, what you do, and it's very difficult.
And this week, your playoffs start tonight.
Yes, sir.
Huge game tonight. Alexandria, there's some history there. You're very familiar with it, coaching at Welborn, I guess. You've played against Alexandria a time or two. What's up, Coach Ginn? He watches everything. So what are you expecting? And again, we're gonna get that victory, Coach.
Yeah, it's not the one on your schedule you check off that you want to play to get in. That's for sure. And I coached against Coach Ginn's dad, and just a class, super fantastic coach. And when I used to tease our coaches, I'm saying it's a good thing is Coach Ginn doesn't coach baseball because he beat us in that too. Like he wins in everything he does, and Todd's doing the same thing. So I don't know if you know this, but when I was in Georgia as an assistant, my last head coaching job, I hired all the Alexandria guys. I hired Jason Johnson, Andy Shaw, Frank Tucker.
Did you?
I did. Those guys were all on my staff. Daryl Hamby, who used to be on that.
You couldn't hire Kyle Davis?
Yeah,
He's an Alexandria guy. He'd have came with you, man.
And so I hired all those guys, and it's funny because when I was at Madison County, we played those guys in the playoffs, and so that 14 team you were talking about, and so I was able to teach those guys the whole time they were there. But anyway, I've so there's a big history of Alexandria,
cool.
and matter of fact, Frank Tucker told me, he said, I want you to win them all but one, and so this is the one, and so they're
It's the one you got to win.
That's right, and that's great. I tell our kids all the time that we don't want to ever get to the point where we play football games that don't matter, and this one matters. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for our kids that, like I said, things hadn't been as like we had planned, but we're playing game 9 and it matters. And there's a lot of teams that game 7, 8 may not have mattered. So game 9 matters, and so we've put ourselves in a good position that we just got to go play our guts out.
I think I'm a guy that believes previous games matter, right? The game before matters to this game that's coming up. You're playing Alexandria. They got it handed to them last week. They're coming in. We're going to keep them out. We're going to win, right? You guys played just a heck of a ball game, a battle, scrap last week, pulled out a victory. How much does the previous game matter?
Well, I think it matters. I think there's a lot to it in the fact that they played a really good football team, and they played a very, very physical football team. So I would think that they're probably not all healthy. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they took some shots and they delivered some shots. They went in there, and I thought they played one of their better games. Mm-hmm. Like they played really, really hard, and so that's what you would expect from any Alexandria team. There's you're never going to play an Alexandria team in anything that's not going to play their guts out. And so
that's right.
So it's exciting. It's exciting that we got on a good note, and because I told our coaches were kind of down a little bit that when we won, and I'm like, hey, let's not forget we've lost some of them the same way that we just won one. You just hope that you play a little better or whatever, and things don't always go that way. And we didn't play well in the first half, and we played well in the second half. So, it's nice to know that we can come back and find a way to dig it out. And our superintendent said it's been a long time since we come from behind to win a game. So those are good things. Those are all positives that we know we can do it. We thought we could have done it, and I think we ended on the 6-inch line to beat Southside, and we ended up losing it. So we found a way to get that 6 inches this time. So it was good, and I'm just proud of our kids. And one thing's for sure, now we haven't cheated a day. We haven't taken a day off. We haven't taken a day off from running. We lift every day. We haven't cheated one day. So sometimes you got to get a reward like that so that the troops stay happy.
Sure.
So I'm glad for that.
Yeah,
for sure.
me too. I love that.
Well, there's something to learning how to win the close game. And you do it by doing it, right? There's no other way you got to get in those battles, right?
That's right. And we've been in some of them for sure. So
yeah, Logan, that's right. If they win tonight, they're in the playoffs.
Yes.
If you want to break down that scenario, or that pretty much sums it up.
It's a win to get in now. Now, if we don't, obviously we're out. But it becomes a 3-way tie for second place, I believe, between them, Anniston, and maybe Hopes Bluff.
Hopes Bluff, Alexandria, and Anniston.
So the state has all those tiebreakers that go way down. So
you need an abacus to figure that stuff out, man. It's crazy.
It'll go down the list for sure to figure that out. And then, of course, once they break that tie, then it goes head to head, so that it becomes easier. But breaking the 3-way tie is the difficult part.
But do the state a favor, Coach.
Yeah, just go handle it.
Oh, I can guarantee you this: we've been working at it for sure. So. Yeah,
so in closing, we know we got to get you back on campus. We need the Etowah people to show up in force, be loud, and be old school Etowah fans, Etowah high school football fans. There's a lot of Etowah fans that don't live in Etowah, right? Because we spread out to different places. Right. It's time to rally the troops.
I agree. It is, and I think there's been some things that happened in the past that people didn't like to see, and we probably started that way. And I think the people that have stuck with us have seen our kids mature every week and get better every week, and most of all, they're just playing really, really hard. Mm-hmm. So I think they'll be proud of everything that they're doing, because I tell our kids every day that we're the pride of the school, and when we put on our uniforms and walk out, that's the best we're going to get, the best Etowah's going to get, and our kids represented that well, I feel like. So
Brian Clonson, he said he can't wait to roll the tree tonight.
Hey, you and me both. So I didn't know about that. So
yeah.
We've won 3 at home. So the first one we won at home, I'd take some equipment on my truck and take it to the field. And so when I was coming back, I was like, man, they're rolling that tree. Somebody's going to get in trouble, whatever. But they were excited. The kids were going crazy. And then, so then when I got there, they was like, Coach, they do that every time. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, so the second game we won at home, I jumped out and rolled it with them. And then
that's awesome.
Me and my son jumped out last week and rolled it with them again. So I'll tell you what, if we win this one, we're all going to go roll it.
I'll bring some toilet paper.
Me too. I'll leave some there behind the superintendent's sign there. Brian said, what did he say? He said, I bet the city workers hate to clean that when they win.
No, because most of the city workers are Etowah guys, right? So because we keep it in-house there.
That's right.
April said it's going to be great helping roll that tree. So she's excited too. I said, come out, support. It's going to be huge. And you guys, look, you made the right hire.
Yeah, I agree.
You made the right hire. We've said it time and time again on the show. And I'm glad to finally have you on, and hopefully we can have you on a lot more.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your coverage. I appreciate y'all having us.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Hey, get out there, 7 o'clock kickoff time. Get there early. Get there quickly. Find you a seat.